So this inverses review drill asks us to do exactly what it says, to find the inverse. And when you're finding an inverse, you're finding the angle that has the sine, cosine, or tangent that is given to us. So in number 1, it's asking us where is the cosine, the square root of 2 over 2. That's really what that question is asking us. So I go to my unit circle, and I have to remember that for inverses, I have a limited domain. I'm not looking at the entire unit circle. So here's my unit circle. Here's my unit circle. And for inverses with cosine, I'm only looking at the top half of the unit circle. And I want to know where the cosine is the square root of 2 over 2. Cosine is my x-coordinate, so I look at my x-coordinates, and right there is the square root of 2 over 2, and that happens at pi over 4. My next question says inverse sine of 1, so it's asking where is the sine 1. So I go to my unit circle, and for sine, I'm only looking at the right side of the unit circle, and I have to remember that for sine, and this is the same as tangent for the inverse, this top quadrant, quadrant 1, is my positive quadrant, and down here, this is my negative quadrant. So it's not going to be 11 pi over 6, it would be negative pi over 6. This would be negative pi over 4, negative pi over 3, negative pi over 2. So I'm looking for where is the sine 1. And that's the y-coordinate. And it's 1 up here at pi over 2. The next question asks for my inverse tangent of negative square root of 3. So that's asking where is the tangent negative square root of 3. Go to my unit circle, and remember, on the unit circle for a tangent, I'm using the right side just like I did with inverse sine. And the tangent I have on the outside, and I'm looking for negative square root of 3. Since it's negative, I know it's going to have to be down here, and right here is where it is, at 5 pi over 3, but I can't call this 5 pi over 3. Remember, this is negative pi over 6, negative pi over 4. This is negative pi over 3. Let's go to number 4. This is asking where is the sine, which is the y-coordinate, negative square root of 2 over 2. That's what's being asked here. So again, for inverse sine, I look at the right side of the circle, and it's negative, so I know it's going to have to be on the bottom, and it's the y-coordinate. Where's my y-coordinate? Negative square root of 2 over 2, and that happens right there. And this is, on the unit circle, says 7 pi over 4, but for inverses, this would be negative pi over 4. Number 5, inverse cosine of negative square root of 3 over 2 is asking where is the cosine, negative the square root of 3 over 2. So I go to my unit circle, and for inverse cosine, I'm looking at just the top of the unit circle, and I believe it was, what, negative square root of 3 over 2, and this is the x-coordinate. Right here is where my x-coordinate is negative square root of 3 over 2, and that happens at 5 pi over 6. Number 6, inverse tangent of 1. That's asking where is the tangent 1. I go to my unit circle, And for inverse tangent, I'm looking at just the right side, and I want a tangent, and I list those on the outside of 1. Right there is where my tangent is 1, and that's at pi over 4. All right, for number 7, I've got 2 things that I need to do, and I always start on the inside of my parentheses. The first thing I'm asked to do is find the cosine of 7 pi over 6. That means I have the entire unit circle because I'm not finding an inverse yet. 7 pi over 6 is here. Cosine is the x coordinate, so it's negative square root of 3 over 2. So this is negative square root of 3 over 2. And now I'm going to take the inverse of that, which means where is the inverse? Where is the cosine? Negative square root of 3 over 2. That's what an inverse means. So I go to my unit circle, and because I'm finding the inverse, this is where I have my limited unit circle. Negative square root of 3 over 2 is the x coordinate, which is right here. And that's 5 pi over 6 again, which is what I had for number 5. Okay, last one on this drill is number 8. For number 8, when we work inside the parentheses, the first thing we're doing is finding the inverse tangent of negative 1. So where is tangent negative 1? Since it's an inverse, when I go to my unit circle, I have the limited, just the right side. Tangent's on the outside, and it's negative, so I know it's going to have to be at the bottom, negative 1. Right here, now I can't write 7 pi over 4. Remember, this is my negative quadrant. Negative pi over 6, this is negative pi over 4. So I get tangent of negative pi over 4. Now I'm finding the tangent of that. That means I have my whole unit circle. Negative pi over 4 would be right here. And what's the tangent? I'm right back at negative 1.